Hello, hello, dear cardiac radio friends. A very good night to all of you. It's a great pleasure to be here one more time with you guys. Once again, studying the Illuminated Prayers. It's such a pleasure, such an honor to be part of this and working together with you guys and learning together, studying this amazing work by André Luiz through the mediumship of Chico Xavier. And my dear friends, today we're going to chapter number 12 of the book Action and Reaction, and we're going to continue. Hello, Rafael. Hello, hello. Here we are again. Thank you all of you for joining us tonight. Today we're going to chapter 12 of the book Action and Reaction. Caro, my beautiful, dearest friend, it's so nice to see you here. Thank you so very much, right, for, inspiring us and this is so nice. Matthew, hello, Matthew. Hi there. Here we are, everybody. Oh, Simone, there you go. Here you are. Thank you so much for joining us. I miss you guys so much. I know. It's time for us to go there again, right? To have our little work and get together again. Nora, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Everyone, God. I know, I love those little heart eyes. I love those. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so amazing. It's just incredible and humbling to be here with all you guys. Talking about such amazing topics, beautiful messages, learning experiences, right? And the word of our Master Jesus, right? Because that's, in the end, that's what we all revolving, right, together, not against, together, revolving around are the word of our Master Jesus. Like touch each one of us, like inside our hearts, right? And connecting us, right? Isn't there? I just came from a lecture from Alberto Almeida here in Toronto Spirit Society. He was telling us about the little kids that we have inside of us, right? Learning how to love, how to deal with the emotions, right? Expressing anger, frustration, right? Love, happiness, right? Learning how to deal with those emotions, transforming them into action, right? And here we are today, my friends, and we're going to listen to the story of Marina, which is a spirit who is considering committing suicide. And we're going to understand the story behind the scenes, and that is the amazing, amazing aspects that André Luiz brings to us, telling us through this story, through the lenses of the story, the beautiful learning for all of us, right? What we have to do, how we're going to learn, right, my friends? So for all of you there, you guys ready for this? We're going to get started, okay? Thank you very much. Let's go through this, and we're going to start just a little refresher, right? So we can all start at the same page. For those of you who are not connected, right? Maybe missed a day before, so you guys know. So we're following André Luiz, we're following Hilario, we're following Silas, right? We're going in some paths. Not only learn, right, but learn into like a little workshop, like a little hands-on training, right, on how to help so many other spirits, right, who are going through action and reaction. So remember, my friends, for every action, there's a proportional reaction. Okay, we can do a lot to make our reaction better, right? And we know that because God loves us so much. He allows us to deal with the consequences of our actions, right? Through many ways, right? Hello, Teresa. Hi, Saul. Thank you for joining us one more time. It's so nice to see all of you here. Thank you so much for joining, right? It's so nice. So remember, guys, God give us the opportunity to us to deal with the reactions, right? We can make them easier to deal with. We can make the consequences lighter, right? Because in the mathematics of God, of the universe, all we have to do is do good actions, right? So we can wash away the multitudes of errors. Remember that? So when we love, right, we can wipe away, right? But we still deal with the consequences, right? Because there's a law that tells us that. So we're going to hear today a little bit about that. So Silas, so for those who may have missed we haven't really talked about most of the chapters, but just a little briefing of the story, right? So we left where Silas helped rescuing the story around Antonio, right? And now they helped Leonel and they helped Clarindo, which were the obsessors. And remember when we were talking about the obsessors a couple of days ago, right? Hello, Vanessa. Look who's here, Vanessa. Thank you so much, my friend, for the opportunity, right? Carol and I, the opportunity to get to work of this. It's amazing opportunity that we're having, right? To work together to study this Illuminated Prayers, right? So Vanessa, my heart goes to you, right? That's it's just an amazing opportunity that we're having to serve, right? And to put in practice what we've been learning, right? Because that's what we're doing all together, right? With this beautiful family, our spiritual family, right? That's who we are. Here we are, all of us together, right? So Silas helped this obsessor spirits, right? The Leonel and Clarindo, which when we were reading the story, they looked like very, very horrible spirits, like doing all sorts of negative things. And now we just learn that they are spirits that are also going into their own pathway of progression, right? Through many different pathways and, little detours that would take some time. Right? We also learned that Silas also helped deliver a baby. That's so amazing. That's the previous chapter that we talked about. Now, yesterday we learned with Carol, so many wonderful things, the prayer of a mother, right? Now, today we're going to talk about a prayer of a suicidal spirit. And we're going to learn, there you go. Yeah, that's right. So today we're going to learn about increased debt. That sounds like a lot what we hear today. We talk about increased debt and economy in our countries, household, but that's not what we're going to talk about today, right? So we're going about increasing spiritual, moral, right, deficits. So basically, it's not that we're going backwards. That's not what we're saying. What we mean is that we're accumulating other things that we have still to go back and deal with the reactions, because we're talking about action and reaction, right, my friends? I know it's a blunt, direct message. We cannot escape it, and that's what Andrea Luis is telling us. We do have to deal with our consequences of our actions, right? Isn't that what we teach our kids and everyone else, right? For every action, there's a consequence, there's a reaction, okay? So chapter 12, Silas and Andrea Luis and Hilario are at Monção Paz during the moment where spirits are coming for help, right? So they come, these are suffering spirits. Remember, they're very close to surface. They are in a place that is surrounded by a very negative vibration still. Right? Lots of suffering, a lot of spirits that are trying to find their pathway again, right? And they come for help, right? Hello, Daisy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, all of you guys. So nice to have you here. And while they're in this moment of preparation and helping other spirits, right? A mother comes running, begging for help. Right? And her name is Luisa, right? So she comes running for help. She can't even express herself. So how much agony, right, and stress this mother's dealing with. And the reason why that happening is because she explains to us, to Andrea Luis, that Marina, her daughter, is considering committing suicide. Now, we live and this book is not from today. This book has over 50 years, right? So now we're talking about epidemics of this, right? Particularly in some highly developed countries, right? Because interestingly, rates of suicide are not directly related to what we normally think, which is financial stability and things like that. Are much more in depth. They're much more related to emotional imbalances, right? Which are not necessarily related to the level of development of the place you are. So there's incredibly high rates of suicides everywhere around us, right? And many of the suicides we don't even hear in the news, right? But they're happening all around us all the time. And that's one of the reasons why, it's so important to spread the word. And that's what we're doing today through Kardec Radio, through André Luiz and Chico Xavier. We're spreading the word about the importance of understanding the complex issue of and we're not going to have time to talk about all this in 1 hour, but we're putting a little seed there, right, for everyone to take and understand the importance of understanding suicide and prevention of suicide, and how important it is for us to be aware of this, right? And André Luiz is giving us a message, right? So let's take that. I know, and the story is really, I know you guys, the story, I'm going to read parts of the book. It's a very important message to all of us, okay? But it's a beautiful one, right? Because in the end, as you'll see, we always gonna reach perfection. We're always gonna succeed. We will, right? That's the message that God is giving to us every day, right? So let's see here what's happening to Marina. So Marina is, this is what Louise is going to say. Louise is her mother, right? She's going to say that her daughter is planning to kill herself tonight, right? So immersing her conscience even deeper into darkness. That's the description of her mother, okay? Now, let's see what's happening to Marina. So they go out to help Marina right away, right? So while arriving to see Marina, Marina is in complete distraught. And she's with her 3-year-old daughter. And she's kissing goodbye, according to the description of André Luiz, kissing goodbye to the daughter as this is the last time they'll see each other in a long time. I don't know if you guys can picture such a sad scene, but it is the reality, right? And this is not the reality in André Luiz's book. This is the reality where we are in this world today, worlds of addiction, of so many challenges, emotional challenges and abuses, and so many health diseases and things that contribute to spirits, who already have this challenges within themselves to control the impulse of committing suicide, which probably had happened before, right? Now we live in a world that it's a lot more challenging, right, to control this situation. So let's see what we're going to learn from Marina today, right? So while arriving at the scene, okay, this is from the spiritual perspective now. This is what's going to happen. So André Luiz is going to say, our guide opened his arms around her, okay, enveloping her in anesthetizing fluids of love and kindness. My dear friends, what is the true remedy that is given to all of us and we can give freely? That's what André Luiz is telling us. Listen carefully. This is what he's saying. The spirit guide, that moment, wraps around her in this maternal embrace and support, right? What mothers do to babies to calm them down, right? We don't yell at them, right? It's going to make them very upset. We embrace them, right? We do with love, right? So that's what they do. They enveloping her in anesthetizing. So anesthetizing is like blocking the ability to feel. So blocking at that moment the ability for that spirit that's suffering to feel the pain, right? The despair that is transpiring through that spirit, right? And anesthetizing the fluids are love and kindness. That is a true remedy. There was not an injection, right? She's not like grabbing her arms and, that's not what we're doing. We're embracing with love, my friends. And this is what, so Marina obviously feels it right away, right? Because how can you not feel love, right? And that's such a strong energy, and it vibrates in such a way that it penetrates deeply into every one of us all the time. Right? We cannot deny it, right? So she's gonna now start a prayer because she feels it, and she was about to drink a poisonous drink. So she had poison over her hand, and she's kissing her kid, and that's exactly the moment that the Silas will arrive, and she leaves the poison and puts the poison away, and the piercing love that really brings that light back to her allows her to disconnect with the action and start praying, my friends. Now we're looking at the power of praying, right? Again, but obviously this prayer that we're listening now, we're going to study, is not the same type of prayer that we may have heard before from elevated spirits, because the mental vibration of this spirit is completely different, right? There's a lot of distress, there's a lot of stress and despair, right? So listen to her words. This is what she's going to say. Dear God of infinite goodness, right? She begins aloud, have mercy on me and forgive me for my failures. Very direct message. So she understands what's happening, right? I can't go on anymore. Without me, my husband will be better off in the leprosarium. So for those who know, there's a note from the spiritual author here. So that's a place, a hospital dedicated to treating leprosy or Hansen's disease, right? Which was very, very common, still common in some parts of the world, including Brazil, but it was far more common at that time, right? And one of the ways that Hansen's disease was treated was by segregation, separation. So they were physically separated in a place so they wouldn't spread the disease. Now we understand that that was a very not appropriate approach. We learned a lot about it. It's treatable. There's no concerns. I mean, though it's out there and it's still affecting many lives, now with appropriate treatment, patients will recover fully, okay? But at that time, that's how the approach was done, right? So she would say, my poor little daughter will find generous hearts who can give her love. That's her rationale, right? That's what she's thinking. I'm out of money. I'm sick. Our unpaid bills are crushing me. Does that sound like 2019? Yes, my friend, that sounds a lot like what we're dealing today too, right? There's lots of pressures out there that contributes to these trials that we go through, right? Financial is one of them. But now in a minute, we understand how did we get to this stage, right, my friends? It's very important to understand that too. Andrea Louise will give us that information, which is fundamental for us to understand what's happening here. Okay, so freeze that memory here in your mind because we're going to go back to it. Okay, how can I beat the disease that is killing me if I have to sue all the time, torn between my husband and my little girl who demand my assistance and care? So the husband and the girl, both of them need, he's not there anymore, and the daughter needs her a lot. So Silas, the mentor, administered magnetic passes to sedate her, inducing her to make a light movement with her arm, so inducing her to make a movement with her arm and knock down the poison. So that is clear now, right? So we got that out of the way. And then she starts weeping constantly, right? And she's going to say at the end, oh Lord, have mercy on me. And that is the prayer, my friends. And that's literally representing the type of vibration that she's thinking right now. It's a lot of sadness, a lot of stress, a lot of challenges she's dealing with, right? So the prayer, in a way, she's asking for help. It's just that the way it articulates, it shows what's happening to her, right? Now, let's understand what is really happening, right? And I think this is the most critical piece of information that we're going to learn tonight, okay? And I'm gonna read that directly from the book, okay? And if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to ask at any time. We can stop and we'll discuss things, okay? So this is what Scylla's gonna say. So in her thoughtless gesture, she recognized the manifestation of an outside power that kept her from taking her own life. Why is that important? Because, friends, I'll tell you this, we're always surrounded by help. We have to be in a position to receive it, right? We have to connect to it. That's why we have our free will. It works that way too, right? But most importantly, for all of those out there who are struggling, who are going through tough times, unimaginable, difficult challenges in their lives, let me tell you this. Look around you. I can guarantee you that your guardian angel is literally a flick of a second away from your connecting thoughts. I can guarantee you there's a network of spirits already there to help you and helping you. And I can guarantee you one more thing, and I'm not predicting the future or anything, I'm just telling you the reality of things, okay? God is thoroughly connected with us in love. All we have to do is to recognize it. So for all of you out there, step for 1 second away from your thoughts right now and connect to God. Do it. She did it. In 5 words, literally, on her prayer, she was able to do it. And she received immediately the help she needed. And she recognized it. So how many times we're doing something where, like, I don't know, there's so many scenarios here. I can tell you one thing that happened with me once, and I was much younger those days. I was driving back home probably 15 years ago, and I was going, down a road, and I was probably going a little bit above the speed limit, which was not fine, but I was doing that at that time, okay? And I had this little brief second where I was by there's no other cars in the road, okay? It was literally just me. The entire city was sleeping at that time, okay? So I was going down the road, and I had this literally like a split-second decision of elevating my thoughts. Literally, it was a split second. And I immediately received this interesting thought. It's like, why are you doing this? Okay? Just like, take your time. That was the thought. Take your time. So I immediately did. I slowed down significantly. I realized, I opened the windows, like, I'm just going to take my time and go back home. About 50 meters away, a car crossed the red light in front of me. Literally, 50 meters away from where I was. And I can guarantee you this, if I did not have the opening to receive that connection, I would probably be in a lot of trouble, right? Going down the street. So I can guarantee if you allow yourself, you put in a position that you connect with the above. That's what we're listening in the Illuminated Prayers. Help is always there for all of us, okay? Always, always, okay? And then she'll continue this. So Scylla's explaining to us, okay? So she was praying silently with obvious signs of fear and remorse. And I can't even imagine the amount of remorse when you understand how close you were of committing such an act, okay? A mental attitude that increased her passivity and enabled them, right, to put her to sleep. So Scylla's was able to put her to sleep. While sleeping and partially disconnected from the body now, she'll receive a visit from her mother, Louisa. That's so beautiful. So she comes for help, right? And in the meantime, Andrea Luiz will explain this, and I'm going to read again from the book because it's just a very interesting, complex story that we need to understand. So we got now understand why is Marina considering committing suicide, okay? So Marina, she was actually at Mansão Pass, right? So she came down to help Georgie and Zilda, two spirits who were creditors of her, right? So she was supposed to come in and help them out during this incarnation, okay? So Marina was the eldest daughter of Luisa, right? And her job, her mission, she agreed to, was to take care of her little sister Zilda. So Marina and Zilda are sisters, okay? And they grew up in a very loving, sisterly, loving family, okay, according to the description. The plan that was designed for them is that when they turn adults, Zilda would meet Georgie, okay, and they would fall in love, and they would just like they did in the past. So they're just replicating what they did in the past. And they would love each other and get engaged, and they were planning to have a family, establish a family together, okay? But Marina was supposed to support them, because in the past, Marina interfered and eventually broke up that relationship. So she was coming back this time and saying, hey, this time I'm going to go in, and instead of trying to split you guys apart, I'm actually going to be supportive of you, and I'm going to control my own emotions, my own feelings, my own instinct of getting involved with Georgie. That's what she agreed to, okay? But Marina did not live up to the promises she had made in Greater World. So according to those plans, that's what we're going to explain here, she was to love the same man as before. She was to love Georgie, but this time in a silent, constructive self-denial. So, look at this mission, my friends. The mission that she agreed to was to come back and live with them and learn self-denial in favor of the person who in the past, right, she did exactly the opposite. So that's what I was supposed to do. Listen, this is what I'm going to do, okay? She was to lend support to her little sister, formerly the rejected spouse, that's what happened in the past, in the purifying struggles that her present life would offer her, okay? Taken with intense passion, she devised the deplorable scheme. Look what Marina is going to do. And not with our judging senses now, we're going to take this opportunity to learn that this happens, right? And it likely happened to us before, right? So we have to learn with this mistake so we don't have to go through them again, right? Completely deaf and blind, it sounds 100% like us sometimes, right? That we're completely deaf and blind to the warnings of our mentors that keep telling us like over and over what to do, and we keep saying no, 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 right? So completely deaf to the warnings, she started to involve her sister's fiancé in a web of seduction. Look at this. So she's now in a relationship with Georgie, which is her sister's fiancé. Okay? So 2 weeks before the wedding, Zilda, which was about to get married with Georgie, was surprised by an unexpected and heartbreaking confession. Georgie told her what was tearing him inside. He did not deny his great affection and admiration for her, but for a long time now, he had known that Marina was the one that should be his wife, so she called off the wedding. What happened, though, and that's the very sad part of the story, Zilda could not bear that situation and committed suicide. So Marina now, instead of helping them, right, actually induced not only the same issues in the relationship, but also in somehow was partially responsible for the suicide of her sister. That was not the plan, obviously, right? Now, for all of us out there, the question for you, for all of us, is sometimes that we feel that our plans are going this way, right? And we're kind of going that way, okay? So how many of us have actually thought about it? How many times, instead of saying, this is too hard, I'm going to make this little right turn here, I'm going to go that way, right? How many times we stop for a second and say, Dear God, help me so I follow the plans that I have myself took responsibility to follow, right? And give me the energy that I need, the courage, right? The faith that I need so I can fulfill the plans that are designed for my own improvement. Right, my friends? That's what Illuminated Prayers are telling us, right? It's always relatively easier in the short term to go to the big, wide open doors. Remember that Jesus tells us that? The problem is that that's only if you're very narrow-sighted, right? Because in the future, going through the narrow door will always lead you to the right path, okay? This is exactly what we're learning here from Angel Luis, right? But instead of using the door as an example, he's actually giving us the story itself. So we don't have to think, right? We can just read it, okay? Thank you, Angel Luis, for this great opportunity that we have from learning from you, okay? There we go, we're praying again. Now, this is what happens then. Now, we're also learning another thing here. We're learning about how God is supremely just and good, right? And why is that, Marco? I'll tell you. Because even though this disaster situation happens, Zilda committed suicide, Marina is responsible for this, George is completely destroyed because he's involved in this whole story, God will allow Marina to receive Zilda back as her daughter. So now she'll love Zilda as her own daughter. Look at this, my friends. So the daughter that we listened, remember I asked you to freeze that little picture in the beginning where Marina was there, cuddling the 3-year-old and kind of desperate that she was about to commit suicide. In fact, that is Zilda that came back again with another name called Nilda, right? So in fact, Marina is now receiving her sister that she induced to commit suicide as her own daughter. Why is that important? Because she is now, through maternal love, which is one of the most, from our perspective, maternal love is something that is the closest we can possibly imagine about true love, right? The real love from above. So through that love, she's able to wipe away that energy that they created. God is so just and perfect, right? Allowed that to happen. But listen, Zilda committed suicide, right? So she's obviously not in a good shape either spiritually, right? Because there's all the remorse, right? The negative vibrations, the thoughts that are integrated into her spirit when she commits the act. So she will be responsible for that too, okay? So she will return, but she'll return with developmental delays, and she's also deaf. So now what happens then, look at the perfection of the law. Zilda's back. But Zilda's back in a way that requires a lot of work by Marina to support her, right? She's a special kid. She needs full-time, 100% support, okay? And if you know any parent out there that has kids that are special needs kids and need support, you understand what I'm saying, okay? Because I have experiences with that too. And I can tell you right now that we learn a lot with that, okay? We learn a lot. And if you see a dad and a mother who are going through that, you should look at them and really give your hearts to them, because it is an incredible act of love, of faith, of resignation, right? That is very important. Show your support, okay? Don't judge, okay? Show your support, okay? That's very important, right? So that's what we're learning. We can transport this same story to 2019 and to 2039, and we'll be talking about the exact same things, okay? because that's what we're learning today, right? Now, so Nuda, so because she also poisoned herself, like Zilda, which is now Nuda, so she was born deaf and mentally impaired as a result of the trauma caused in her perispirit, right? Because our perispirits, my friend, they will absorb, right? This all the energy. Hey, I see. That's right. So that's right, Carol. Thank you again for your Nora for the hearts. Yes. Exactly, Rafael. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, because I know, I mean, and believe me, my heart goes to you 100% and to everyone, and because I know that from my own experiences, the challenges of dealing with the son that needs special support, and for all of those parents out there, right, who are going through this, it is. I agree. It's just a beautiful blessing that we receive. Okay, it is a beautiful blessing to receive, and it's just, it makes me emotional because this is really a God's gift to us. Okay, yeah. So continue on the story. So her perispirit absorbed the impact of the discarnation of the suicide, and obviously manifest. Yeah, so Betsy, good question. Does she ever realize that her daughter is also her sister? No, she did not know that at the time. But interestingly enough, although she did not know specifically, right, that she was the sister, she feels it in a way, right? Because not that she knows that's her sister, but the energies that they exchange, the way the way they feel each other, the way they interact with each other, there's always some knowing of a past history. It's just that very difficult to define exactly what and when and how, right? And that's valid for all of us, right? So that's what happens. Okay. Now, when she's partially separated from the body, her mother Louisa actually tells her a little bit of the story, right? So it gives her some support. We're going to listen to that in a minute too. Okay, and that happens with us. It's just that we don't remember when we come back. Okay, most of the time. All right. So let's continue in here. So the reason why Zilda is now deaf and developmentally impaired, delayed, is because now the perispiritual body of Zilda is getting rid, is like expurgating, is like cleaning up that energy that was built during the act of suicide. And dear friends, we learned that in the book Between Heaven and Earth, right, with Julio. That's exactly the same thing that happened to him. He came back with a lesion in his throat because he committed suicide by poisoning, damaged this region of the perispiritual body, and now we use our physical bodies to get rid of that energy, and that manifests through certain diseases sometimes. So in a way, that is actually the cure, right? So what's happening is the cure. And Zilda agreed to that. So Zilda's coming in that particular way because she agreed to that. And that shows us, again, the perfection of the divine providence, okay? Now, interestingly here, and that's just to summarize that part of the story, right? Silas will explain to us that unconscious, that's Marina, and tormented in the depths for being this asphyxiating memories of the recent past, she continues crying. So Zilda is crying all the time. So she's a kid, as I explained to you, that needs a lot of support. She's crying all the time because as a spirit, she's remembering what she's gone through, right? And that, in a way, is a way that Marina has to correct the mistakes that she's done against her sister, right? The more she suffered, listen to this. However, the more love she received from her parents, maternal, paternal love. That is beautiful, my friends, who loved her with an extraordinary display of caring and compassion. And that's how they received the chance in the same incarnation to correct what they've just done, right? And that's the beauty of it. Let's see now why Marina it's such a difficult time, right? Let's see that. Now, Georgie, as I explained to you, he had to leave because at that time treatment for leprosy was separation. So he went to the leprosarium, which is a hospital dedicated for that. So Marina, because he was not there anymore, there was an increased debt and the distress associated with it, right? Because she had to work and she has to take care of Zilda, who needs her a lot, right? She did not have any support, right? And same thing goes, my heart goes to all of those who are single parents, single moms, single dads, or anyone who's going through a lot of other stresses and taking care of a family. That's not an easy thing to do, okay? So keep them in our prayers, right? Show support always, right? Because it's very important. And then while going through all these challenges, Marina then started considering the idea of suicide. Okay, and that's how she got in the situation that we learned in the beginning of the chapter. Okay, and dear friends, this happens every day. In almost all of us know a situation like that. Okay, and illuminated prayers, if we cannot help directly, okay, we can help through sending good thoughts. At a minimum, we should do that, because if we don't, we're being what we just discussed a few chapters ago. We're being the passive one, the ones that did that have a chance to act and that did not consciously, right? And that's also not good. Okay. Now, in the final parts of this chapter, right? We're gonna hear a conversation between Luisa, mother, right, and this, which is discarnated, and Marina, which is the daughter now, which is almost committed suicide not too long ago in the story, and is partially separated from the body through sleep time, where she's sleeping. Okay, and this is the first question the mother asks the daughter. Okay, listen to this. Why are you so discouraged when the battle had just begun? Friends, if you copy and paste that in your little memory archives and make that a question that you can ask yourself sometimes, maybe, right? Why are you so discouraged when the battle has just begun? Okay? Because, dear friends, we're still in the baby steps of evolution, right? Why are we so discouraged? Right? It's like looking at someone going up, you know, we do here in Toronto, we call the CN Tower climb. So you guys don't know, it's like 1,776 steps, okay? We go up the tower, okay? And we do that to raise funds for WWF, right? So for the animals. And I did it this year. So interesting thing is that it's like you have 1,700 steps to go. And by step 5, you stop and you take a time out, right? Because you're angry with the situation, okay? Because you still have 1,772 to go, right? And that's it, okay? You're mentally like that. That's how we are in our incarnations, right? Mentally, we're acting like we worked too much already, like we're done, right? Andrea Luis is telling us through the words here of Luis is that we're just starting, okay? So we still have about over 1,700 steps to go up, okay, or more, all right? So don't you know, second question, don't you know that suffering is our heavenly caretaker? When we talk about caretaking, like taking care of something, right? I can almost certainly guarantee you that we're not thinking about suffering, right? But the interesting fact here is that when we, by our own actions, go into this alternative pathway, it was not the designated pathway, right? We kind of take a little shortcut, okay? That lead us into a situation of suffering. That suffering is like the boundary from the laws of God pushing you over again, right? So here you are pushing against divine laws. You're going the wrong way. You push it, and then eventually suffering will be your caretaker, will guide you back all the way, right? But obviously we don't see things that way Okay, but that's in the eternity. That's exactly what is it doing, right? That's correct, my friend. And I see here my friend Priscilla is here today. Hello, Priscilla. So nice. I want to go and visit you soon, okay? And Angelita, and I see everyone here. That's so nice. And Saul is giving like a wow face. Nice, Saul. There you go. Okay, so let's keep learning this. So, okay, so there you go. That's why we have to share love as much as we can. Love is the reason. Absolutely, Rita. You cannot be more correct than that, right? In the end, it always revolves around it, right? There's no other route, okay? And then, so that's the second question, right? So suffering is our heavenly caretaker, right? And then mother continues. So we're learning from mommy today, okay? That's what we're learning. What will become of us, Marina, if suffering did not help us think of and feel the good, right? Rejoice in the fight that purifies and saves us for God's work. Don't make love a hell for yourself, okay? So don't misinterpret what is really true love, right? And don't think you can bring relief to your husband and your daughter with your illusion of thoughtless escape, okay? So that's a very important message, my friends. Flying away from a situation, it doesn't mean you're fixing it, okay? So when we're taking care of the little kids that are inside of us, right? And we have that fear in there, we have, you know, the aggression and all those feelings in there. We need to deal with it. We have the little traumas we accumulate. Taking it under the rug does not fix the problem, because one day you're going to get out of there, right? And they'll keep poking you until you deal with them. That's why we do psychotherapy, that we got to get treatment, right? That's how we learn with those things. So the message here is a pure psychological message to us, okay? And do not try or imagine that you're going to be dealing with the situation by escaping it the easiest way out. Because if that happens, easiest in a way, that's what I'm thinking, and the conscience of Marina at that time, because we know that's nothing easy about it, right? That's the most challenging one by far, right? Because eventually that will come back to you, because the name of the book is Action and Reaction, okay? And every single line of this book talks about it, all right? So let's continue what she's going to say. Learning with Mama again, right? With Louisa. What has become of your courage as a wife and your dedication as a mother? Okay. Have you forgotten the value of prayer? Have we forgotten the level, the value of prayer? That you learn from our home, right? So why is that important? Teach your kids to pray. Please do that for a better world to all of us, right? For your kids, for adults. Because we don't have babies, we have actually grown-up adults that are packed in little baby bodies, right? They will all be grown-ups one day, right? When I go here in my house and I plant a maple tree, right? I'm not planting a baby tree. I'm actually planting a 15-meter tall tree, okay? We forget about that, right? So teach them how to pray. Okay, another message. How many messages we're learning from Mama Louisa today? Okay, let's continue. That's an intense learning session. Okay, have you deceived yourself so much that you would embrace cowardice as moral glory? Now just pose the question out there. Okay, there's still time. Wake up. All of us, me included. Wake up. Get out of bed. Fight and live. Live to recover the dignity that you tainted with the stain of betrayal. That's what she did to her sister, right? Don't think you're all by yourself on those long, lonely nights you're torn between sleeplessness and desolation. See, do not think you're all by yourself. We are never by ourselves. Okay? We may effectively attract other spirits that may be vibrating the type of low vibrations we are. But if we take our split-second decision of elevating our thoughts for half a second, help is there, always. Not only for us, for everyone, including the spirits that you just brought, and you call them obsessors, right? But it's not their fault. It's your fault. In Spiritism, we have this incredible tendency of dealing with our own emotions, messing up, and then saying, there's an obsessor here. Give me a hard time. Okay, don't we do that in Spiritism all the time? That is the escape. Remember about escapes? Yeah, just like, oh, it's not me. I'm such an evolved spirit. I'm just like in another level of evolution right now. But I have this obsessor here. Oh my goodness, it comes and keep me telling me these ideas that are totally not mine. Right? Does that happen? Yes. Yes, so that's absolutely perfect. The gospel home is very important to everyone, right? That's exactly what we do. Like, take your kids in, everyone involved. Let's just pray and, have this moment of family love together, like building these relationships, this learning, right? That's what we're doing here, right? In the big spiritual family that we are, okay? So we're never alone, right? And even those lonely nights, right? We share the same dreams and the same struggles. We share the same dreams and the same struggles, okay? Dream of perfection that will occur one day, and the struggles of our own actions that we're dealing with, okay? All of us, me particularly included, right? Because by facilitating this study tonight, I'm not a heavenly being that came here with these wise words. No, no, no. I'm just learning just like everyone, right? We're doing it together, right? Same struggles, same dreams. And in Spiritism in general, watch out, because everyone, even in Spiritism, right, we all have our same dreams and struggles, right? No matter how many million lectures you've done before, okay? What kind of heaven is there for maternal hearts that weep beyond the grave? Okay? But the presence of their beloved children, even though they cause them to long days of anguish. Praise to God, dear friends. And that is the message. Yes, we're all on the same boat. So exactly the same boat, right? That's why we're living on this planet. That's why we're studying Spiritism, right? And we're studying Spiritism. And that's why some people are actually facilitating studies, because probably people that are facilitating studies now have denied and messed up and said no so many times that they come back now and say, hey, now actually this is what we're going to do, because we tried everything else, it didn't work, right? So now we're going to put you here, so we actually have to do it, okay? That's probably what's happening, right? All of us in Spiritism, right, Vanessa? That's what happens, right? We're all in Spiritism, like Carol, right? We're having this incredible opportunity. Let's pack everything. Let's see if this guy's do it now, because it's been a hard time, right? So that's what we're learning, right? Exactly. So, my dearest friends, so this is the end of the chapter number 12, the book Action and Reaction, okay? And I would like to thank all of you who are connected, right? Ivana, Simone, Vanessa, my dear Vanessa, Priscila, Carol, Rafael, Sol, Karina, Angelita, Daisy, Nora, oh, so many people, like this amazing. Joyce, which is right here in the background. I can see her. And just big hugs, fraternal hugs for all of you guys, right? This is my last night facilitating the study. Vanessa and Saloni will be back tomorrow till the end of the Illuminated Prayers. And then and I'll be on the other side, like Carol, right, Carol? We're going to transport to the other side now and be the learners again, just on the other side. We'll continue on with this beautiful study, beautiful work. I know. Where's my guitar today? Oh no, I don't have time for it. I was actually playing. Next time. Next time I'll bring the guitar next time, right? Thank you. So thank you so much. It was very kind of all of you. Okay. Yes, lots of hearts for all of you guys too. And we'll be back with yes, thank you, Rafael. Yes, no, thank you, everybody. Yes, the whole team. And we'll be back eventually with other programs, facilitating other studies. And I'll continue around. So we'll see each other soon at another day, another time. Okay. So may God bless every one of you. And since we're doing this, and we heard the story, such an incredible story today, we're going to do a little prayer so we can end like on a high note. Thank you, Daisy. Yes, thank you. Oh, Carol, she made me cry so many times, and like Carol is great. Thank you, Carol, for inspiring us so much. Right. Um, so let us all this moment take this opportunity. Okay, since we're talking about illuminated prayer for so many days, right? Let us all elevate our thoughts to our Father, Mother, God, our Creator, and to the representative love, Jesus, that came to live among us, to teach us the messages of love that we're discussing tonight. And may we continue in this journey of evolution with patience, courage, faith, exercising our free will towards the goal of evolution for everyone. Maybe happiness one day truly inhabits our souls by seeing happiness in other people. May we exercise our tolerance, and may we thank God in all the opportunities we have, in every challenge of the way, in every opportunity we have to serve, in all the opportunities we have to show the world that we have unshakable faith, as our Master Allan Kardec told us. And may God bless all of us, always. So be it, my friends. Thank you all. There you go. Thank you all, and have a great night, okay? And I'll see you guys soon. All the best.